Hello YouTube, after a long while I want to talk about Aether Gazer, a game I started making content with, and I think it deserves much more attention. Now that I have a channel that is running, I think I can propose the game to many more viewers and maybe build a community around it. Let me talk about it. It's basically a staged gacha, the kind of gacha where you have fight and stories intertwined, and you fight with your team. You have 3 members where one active one is the one you're playing. It's an action gacha like Genshin Impact, and the structure can remind you of Punishing Grey Raven, but it's much more bright. So if you like a more bright actor game, Aether Gazer is for you. Also, all the characters are based on deities, and you have many different teams with elements and synergies. You have skills, weapons, equipment is the gear, you have words, which is customization for the character, codes, which you can swap around if you want different builds, and chips for AI, character handling. You also can see the models in a very HD way from the PC or a very high-performing phone. Now we have a PC client, which is an incredible thing because it really runs very smoothly, and you can see all the characters and skin you have collected there. I like both male and female characters. The clothes, the skin, the texture, everything is very defined. That's a very good reason to start testing out the game, but there are others. So first of all, the game is not stingy with pools. If you want a team, you can build it. You just need to save a little bit, or maybe have the subscriptions. They are very convenient. They run very often scans where you can select the character you want, even if it's a limited pass one, which is great, because sometimes you just want a character you missed out on, and this helps you catch up. That's great. The recent character you will have reruns, and they will soon end up into the selectors. You also have selectors for the regular banner, and you also have 2 ways of pulling. One is 70 pulls for PD, you have the 50-50, but if you want to be safe and just get the character, you can pull 90 and have it guaranteed, which is great. Now, let's look into the game modes. You have story, which is you open chapters, fight enemies. You can read stories that are very different from each other. Also, you have early access to the new parts of the story. You have a lot of mini games you can play, which gives you a lot of resources. I find it very interesting. It usually runs a lot of skins that you can get from the shop, but you can try them first. You can try characters and outfits. As in other gacha games, that's a very useful feature. Then you have battle modes, just like zones where you can test your teams and grind the awards. There are modes that are very hard, like this one, for instance, or even more, this one. You can get to difficulty 8 if you're very good at building your team. You can make very hard combats. I will show you some combat from here. If you choose characters like Jinwoo, the combat is very fluid and intuitive. You charge up the Gojis, you do the slash, and you trap the enemy for the debuffs. And then you repeat. And she floats, she's like the signature, easiest character in the game. Very flashy, as you can see. Look at the fire particle effects. I find that very nice to see. A lot of little numbers you can show or not. You have animations on the ultimates that I cut off for fast combat. You have a timer, and you try testing yourself against the timer using the synergies on your team, all the buffs you can. And you can choose an easy team like this, in which you just need to remember your rotation, like in MMORPGs, or a more complex team where you need to dance around the enemy and avoid attacks. Jinwoo has a nice shield provided by Lingwang, plus she flies and can attack on range, so that's pretty easy, but combat is usually very diverse based on the team you are using. You have also many modes where you can grind any kind of material. The game is not stingy with material, so don't worry. The only hard thing that I find rare to have is this material that you can get from the battle pass and the very hard bosses, but it's for endgame. It's like for level 90 and 100 that has been added recently. I think it's a very nice game. The dailies don't take much time. You just need to use your stamina, open the shop, and like the usual things, 5 minutes you're probably done. And I think it's a very nice side game. So for players that like waifus, you have that definitely, like much more than other games. I like many archetypes, but if you are into this one, first of all, you can actually learn how to use the character. I love all the animations. They are so different from each other. Each character has a specific way of expressing their skill. This one is very suggestive. Look at that. She's, yeah, let's say suggestive. I think that's the right word. Plus, if you have combos with other characters, that makes it even more suggestive if you want to go for that route. But regardless, the combat is a very flashy and lovely. I think it's the best combat so far when it comes to gacha games animation that I found, especially from mobile games. I don't think I like anything more than this, but of course, it's a matter of taste. My taste is very much pleased by this kind of animation. If you're looking for a guild to join or a party to play with, please comment down below. We can get organized on my Discord and play together. I think it's a game that is much better if you share what you're doing. You can collect many characters, have different fighting styles, and it doesn't require a lot of time during your day. I think the game is great, and I will be playing it more because, as you can see, I have a lot of resources I want to use, new teams I want to build. I'm always at the PC. There wasn't a client before, so I found it a little bit hard to play, but now we have the PC client, and I think that problem is completely solved, and I want to go back to the game. Hope you enjoyed, hope you will join me. This is Nero Atlas, signing out.